Hotspur are becoming increasingly optimistic that they can secure the marquee signing of Bournemouth forward Eli Jr. Kroupi, with Roberto De Zerbi's ambitious summer rebuild continuing to gather pace. Tottenham continue to be linked with an emotional return for their all-time leading goalscorer Harry Kane, while Spanish giants Real Madrid and Barcelona are also said to be monitoring his situation. And Tottenham Hotspur defender Spence has received high praise from former England centre-back Rio Ferdinand after making a game-changing impact from the bench during England's thrilling World Cup quarter-final win over Norway. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can, and please make sure you turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we go live or upload a video to the channel. And one final request, if you do get a spare minute, please do nominate and vote for us at the 2026 Football Content Awards. All of the details are below. Your support, as always, is really appreciated. Okay, let's get into it. Tottenham Hotspur are growing increasingly confident they can complete the blockbuster signing of Bournemouth star Eli Jr. Kroupi as Roberto De Zerbi's ambitious summer rebuild gathers momentum. Following the arrival of several high-profile players already, Spurs believe they are now in a strong position to convince one of the Premier League's brightest young talents to make the switch to North London. Kroupi has emerged as Tottenham's key priority attacking target after a sensational breakthrough campaign with Bournemouth. The 20-year-old enjoyed a prolific first full Premier League season, earning widespread admiration for his goal-scoring instinct, movement and versatility across the front line. His performances have attracted interest from several elite clubs, but Spurs are understood to be optimistic they can win the race for his signature. Despite Bournemouth maintaining that Kroupi is not for sale, Tottenham's hierarchy believe a deal can be struck if they present a package large enough to tempt the South Coast club into negotiations. Reports suggest that Spurs are prepared to test Bournemouth's resolve with a bid in the region of £85 million, underlining just how highly they rate the France under-21 international. The move forms part of Tottenham's aggressive transfer strategy under De Zerbi, with the club determined to transform a squad that has underperformed in recent seasons. Having already strengthened in defence and midfield, attention has now shifted towards adding another elite forward capable of leading the club's attack for years to come. Club officials reportedly view Kroupi as a player with world-class potential rather than simply another promising youngster. One factor boosting Tottenham's confidence is the belief that Kroupi is attracted by De Zerbi's footballing philosophy and the opportunity to become a central figure to the Italian coach's long-term project. Spurs feel they can offer the striker regular first-team football, a clear development pathway and the chance to become one of the new faces of the club's new era. However, completing the transfer will be far from straightforward. Bournemouth remain determined to keep hold of one of their prized assets, particularly after qualifying for European football, and have consistently insisted they have no intention of selling unless an extraordinary offer arrives. Arsenal, Manchester United and several European heavyweights have also monitored Kroupi's progress, meaning Tottenham face fierce competition despite their growing confidence. Nevertheless, those inside Tottenham reportedly believe momentum is building in their favour. With significant financial backing available this summer and De Zerbi playing a major role in recruitment, Spurs are preparing to make another statement signing in the transfer market as they attempt to secure one of Europe's most exciting young forwards before the new season begins. Team Talk report that Bayern Munich remain confident that Harry Kane will commit his long-term future to the club, despite mounting speculation linking the England captain with a sensational return to Tottenham Hotspur and interest from European heavyweights Real Madrid and Barcelona. Reports in Germany suggest that the Bundesliga champions are relaxed about the growing transfer noise and believe Kane is settled in Munich following another prolific campaign. Club officials are expected to open discussions over a new contract in the coming months, with confidence high that the striker will extend his stay rather than seek a new challenge. However, Tottenham continue to be linked with an emotional return for their all-time leading goalscorer, while Spanish giants Real Madrid and Barcelona are also said to be monitoring his situation. Spurs have held talks over a possible move for the England captain, and they are well informed on developments surrounding their former player. Tottenham could be in a position to bring Kane back to the club, with intermediaries actively sounding out potential next moves for the striker. However, there is little indication that Kane is looking to leave Bayern, who view him as a cornerstone of both their present and future plans. The report also claims that Saudi Pro League clubs remain admirers of the 32-year-old, but Kane has no interest in making the move to the Middle East at this stage of his career. Instead, if he were to leave Bayern in the future, a switch to MLS is considered a more realistic long-term possibility once his time at the top level in Europe comes to an end. Spence has earned glowing praise from former England defender Rio Ferdinand following his impressive substitute appearance in England's dramatic World Cup quarter-final victory over Norway. The Tottenham Hotspur fullback had made a huge impact after coming off the bench, producing an energetic display that helped England book their place in the semi-finals. Ferdinand was quick to recognise Spence's contribution, taking to social media with a simple but powerful message: Jed Spence, respect. People need to put some respect on his name. The former Manchester United captain believes the 25-year-old is finally receiving the recognition his performances deserve after an impressive rise over the past year. Spence's display against Norway showcased that the qualities that have made him an increasingly important player for both club and country. His pace, athleticism and willingness to drive forward caused problems for the Norwegian defence, while his defensive work helped England see out a tense encounter in extra time. The performance has fuelled calls for Thomas Tuchel to hand the Tottenham defender an even bigger role in the World Cup semi-final. After overcoming a difficult spell earlier in his Tottenham career, Spence has transformed his fortunes to become a regular for both Spurs and England. Ferdinand's public endorsement is seen as yet another sign that the fullback has firmly established himself among the country's top defenders, with his stock continuing to rise on the biggest stage in world football. Okay, here's my thoughts on those stories today. Firstly, the Kroupi deal. This is a bit like the Savinho one from last summer. I mean, we're still in for Savinho technically. That never really ended. But Kroupi, yeah. I've spoke about Kroupi before. I think he's a fabulous player. Rumours that Spurs could go in with an £85 million bid. Nothing official on this yet. It just seems like Spurs are long-term admirers of the player. Are we going to do it? I just really want us to go in and get Kroupi. We've seen people say that we're overpaying for players this summer, but who doesn't? You know, Spurs will always get criticism whether you do or you don't. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's the price, as we always say, to the selling club. It's the price the player is to the selling club, and Kroupi, incredibly important player for Bournemouth last year. Obviously, the recruitment at Bournemouth must be phenomenal, you know, and bringing players through like Semenyo, Kroupi, Rayan, you know, really do some good minutes. A bit like a Brighton side, you know, limited with funds, but seem to find these players, and Kroupi's another one. I think, you know, testing Bournemouth's result, they don't need to sell the player. Bournemouth are a selling club, so you're going with a big enough offer. I think we get this deal done. It's just how badly does Spurs want Kroupi? How far are they willing to go? £85 million seems a hell of a lot of money, doesn't it? But the price of players just does seem to be going up, and it will keep going up. I think it's a disgusting amount of money that footballers go for nowadays. But it is what it is. that's the market, isn't it? So let's see how that one plays out. But I, for one, want Spurs to really go in hard for Kroupi. This Kane return, obviously, it's just more of a romantic thought at this stage that Kane returns to Spurs. I think most of us want Kane, or would have Kane return to Spurs. Really love the guy. Do you know what I mean? Some would say, well, no, he left us, so just let him get on with his career. Thank you very much, but we don't want you back. I don't agree with that. I think Kane did stay with us over many seasons where he always said, didn't he, just showing that ambition, and we never really did. But Kane stayed, and eventually, of course, he went to Bayern Munich. I always do wonder whether, if we hadn't sold him that summer, and he said he was happy to stay for another year, albeit letting his contract run down, but what could he have done under Ange Postecoglou in that first season when Ange was there? That would have been incredibly interesting. Could kind of even signed a new contract? Of course, we'll never know. Could I see this happening? Probably not, if I'm brutally honest. Probably not. It's a romantic notion that Kane comes back to Spurs. I'm sure De Zerbi would love to have the player, but I just can't see this happening personally. But look, who knows? Some would say, and even I reported on it last week, go in with a huge offer to Bayern and just test their resolve on Kane. How good would it be if you got Kroupi and Kane over the line? But I can't personally see this one happening, but the reports are out there, so that's why we do things on this channel. That's what we report when we bring it to you, and make your own mind up whether you think this is going to happen or not. Personally, I don't think it will. Finally, the Jed Spence praised by Rio Ferdinand, really good. Jed's had a fantastic World Cup so far. Let's hope he starts in the semi-final against Argentina. Obviously, huge game on Wednesday. Jed's just been brilliant, actually. Some questioned why he was in the squad. Well, I think you've seen from his performances why Thomas Tuchel actually picked Jed Spence. Sensational performance in the quarter-final. Really pleased for Jed Spence. Tough start to his Spurs career, wasn't it? Almost went out the door, really. It was just his performance in one of those friendlies a couple of seasons ago that Spurs kept him around. So massive and good turnaround for Jed Spence. So pleased for the player that he's finally getting the plaudits he deserves. Let's hope Jed can put in another sterling performance against Argentina and help fire England to the World Cup final. How good would that be? That's all for me today. Get down in the comments, let me know how you're feeling as a Tottenham Hotspur fan right now. And as always, come on you Spurs.